Compass FM. It's certainly going to be hot and apparently windy too. Ooh, that's not a great combination. And that brings us to Bruce Janes. Bruce, of course, is the Principal Rural Fire Officer for North Canterbury. And we have Bruce here on Compass FM on a regular basis. Good morning to you, Bruce.
Yeah, good morning.
So that's not a good mix, is it, over the next few days?
No, that's it. If you've just got heat, you might get a spark that might be a fire, but you'll pull it in really quickly. But in these conditions, it'll get cracking really fast. And the summer, is shaping up as predicted. But if we look at Cass Bay last week, Governor's Bay, so they're still patrolling that today. And that's on the back of the science we use, the fire weather indices, which are a bunch of, steam mirrors and sacrificial chickens that tell us what the weather will create in regard fire behaviour. So, long story short is, very hot and very dry, meaning every fire, every ignition, every spark from a mower, parked car idling in long grass, someone welding in the backyard, power line, wind branch thing, will be a successful fire. On the back of that, the rate of spread from that point of ignition will be hugely accelerated over the next few days. So, and that's why Cass, interestingly, one of our indices is about deep-seated heavy fuels. Cass just won't go out, so we're patrolling today, last patrol today, but it keeps popping up. It's a gift that doesn't stop giving. So that's what happens late summer. All that science aligns to any fire potentially being catastrophic.
Yeah, what was predicted for this summer, Bruce? Has it been a relatively normal sort of a summer so far? We've had grey, dull conditions and quite a bit of rain at times too, but it's not really shaping up to be, I suppose, a below average sort of a fire summer, is it?
Yeah, that's it. So look, where are we? La Nina, La Nina conditions with the northeasterlies, and as you say, yeah, exactly, cloudy and quite a bit of rain, which is quite a bit of growth, which is quite a bit of fuel now as we get to late summer. That's the kicker with that cycle. So and extended hot periods. So it's absolutely textbook for that. And this next 3 days is real typical of that. The biter for us is late summer when all that nice rain, nice episodic rain becomes lots of fuel, and we get the equinox winds in autumn. That's a real La Nina sort of symptom. So we get wind, and as you saw last week, we were pretty busy with wind-driven fires. Yeah,
you certainly were. So we've got a few more months really to be concerned
of
about.
Hot and mostly the good news until we get the autumn winds is it's mostly not windy, mostly not northwest, but just that autumn period. And look, who knows, bloody weather, it might rain. It might rain as we go into autumn. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely. What about old burn piles? For instance, Mr. Smith's got an old drum out the back of his property there that he likes to use as an incinerator. I'm not sure if that's allowed at this time of year, but that's the sort of thing to keep an eye on when the wind gets up. All it takes is a couple of sparks, Bruce.
Yeah, that's it. That's the message, is to check any burn you've had in the last 3 or 4 days if it's just a garden waste sort of burn. But if you're on the land and you've burnt a shelter belt in the last couple of months, go way back.
That's down into the stumps.
Those are the killers, because those big heavy fuels and the indice, that science we're talking about, the drought code indice is all about those heavy fuels, and those numbers from basically, I'm going to say Amberley right through to Lincoln and slightly south, that swathe, if you like, from State Highway 1 out to the coast, if you can picture that area is super dry. So that's where you can have, as you say, fire that's 3 months old, gone out, finished with, you've forgotten about it.
Not even smouldering.
Nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, and they kick up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Our only other watch out is hay. So all the hay's been done, or mostly done, about now. Your 6-week mark from the point of cut and bale is the time when they'll self-combust. So that's the only other little watch out. Mostly lifestyle block owners and farmers. The moisture in the hay about now causes trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
Always good to see you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Thanks for popping in. Bruce Janes from Fire Emergency New Zealand, our Principal Rural Fire Officer, a man who has a very big job here in North Canterbury, reporting in to Compass FM.